The wind swept dry and restless across the open land, stirring up clouds of red dust that clung to everything in its path. Hollow Creek wasn't much of a town, just a scatter of buildings, a saloon, a half-stock general store, and folks too stubborn or too tired to move on. Cole Rawlins didn't care for towns, but once a month he came in for supplies. Rope, flour, ammo. That's all he needed from people anymore. He tied his horse out front and stepped onto the wooden boardwalk, boots thudding heavy on warped planks. He barely glanced up. Then he heard it, small feet shuffling, a baby's cough, a girl's voice that stopped him cold. "Can you buy us, mister?" Cole turned. A girl stood at the edge of the awning's shadow, no more than 8 years old. Her boots were too big, her braids were frayed, and her chin was lifted in a way that told him she'd already learned how to protect someone smaller. In her arms was a baby, wrapped in a tattered blanket. Behind her, half sitting against a crate, was a young woman, no older than 25. Her dress was sun-faded and stained, her eyes rimmed with worry. She had the look of someone who'd gone without sleep or food, or both. Cole stared, unsure he'd heard right. The girl squared her shoulders. "We ain't begging, but we don't got nowhere to go. We're hungry and Mama's too tired. The baby's sick. We just need someone." The woman stood quickly, as if trying to salvage dignity from the dust. "Ellie, don't. I told you." "He looks like he's alone, too," the girl said, not backing down. The woman looked at Cole, eyes fierce and apologetic at once. "I didn't tell her to say that." Cole didn't speak. He couldn't. Her voice, soft and cracked with shame, settled into the cracks of his bones. He looked at the baby, then at the girl, then back at the woman, who had turned away slightly, as if she expected him to walk off without another word. "What's your name?" he asked quietly. The woman faced him again, guarded. "Anna Whitlock. That's Ellie, and the baby's Charlie. You got people?" "No. Husband." She shook her head once. "Died last winter. Fever took him. We tried to make it back to Kansas, but our wagon busted a wheel out near the river. Folks passing by didn't stop. One man did, but he wanted something we weren't giving." The girl's grip on the baby tightened. Cole exhaled slowly, rubbing the back of his neck. The wind tugged at his coat. He didn't know what he was thinking. Hell, maybe he wasn't thinking at all, but he couldn't walk away. "I've got a spare cabin out in my ranch. Ain't fancy, ain't warm yet, but it's dry. You can work if you need to feel square about it." Anna blinked. "You serious?" "I don't take in strays as a rule," he muttered. "But your girl's got more grit than most grown men I've met. And she's right. I'm alone, too." Anna stared at him like she didn't quite believe it. She nodded once, tight-lipped. "We can work." "I know." They rode out that evening in silence, the sun setting behind them. Ellie sat in front of Cole on the saddle, clinging to the reins like a born rider. Anna rode behind, clutching Charlie to her chest. She didn't speak, but Cole caught her watching him more than once, like she was still trying to make sense of the man who stopped. The cabin was small and old, tucked near the edge of a grove behind Cole's house. It had been empty for years. His brother built it back before the war, before the fire, before everything went to hell. Anna cleaned it top to bottom by morning. She didn't ask for help, just scrubbed until her fingers bled, humming softly to calm the baby in the sling across her chest. Ellie followed Cole around the ranch. She asked questions about horses, about cows, about why he never smiled. Cole tried to be gruff, but her curiosity wore him down. By the third day, he was teaching her how to gather eggs. By the fourth, she had names for every animal. Anna cooked, fixed a broken shutter, started mending his old shirts. She did it without asking, never assuming, never overstepping. One night, she left a plate of stew on his porch without a word. He found it still warm, and for the first time in years, ate everything on it. Spring rain softened the land. Wildflowers sprouted near the creek. Ellie ran barefoot with the dog trailing behind her, laughing like she'd never gone hungry. Charlie's cough faded. He started crawling. Cole kept his distance at first. Old habits. He'd lost too much before, and he didn't trust good things. But one night, He passed a cabin and heard singing, Anna's voice low and steady. A lullaby. He stood outside for a long time, listening. Later, she found him fixing a fence post. "You're quiet," she said, kneeling to help. "I ain't used to people anymore." "I know." They didn't say much more, but something shifted after that. They shared coffee on cold mornings. She brought him cornbread. He brought her a new dress from town. She tried not to cry when she opened it. By summer, Ellie called him Mr. Cole. Charlie took his first steps between his legs while he fed the horses. And one evening, when the sky burned orange, Anna sat beside him on the porch and rested her head on his shoulder. "I think we've all been a little lost," she whispered. He didn't reply, just reached for her hand and held it gently in his. The wind was softer that night. The air smelled of honeysuckle and hay. And for the first time in a long, long while, Cole didn't feel like a man without people. He looked at the woman who once asked for nothing and gave back everything without trying. And silently, he made a promise they'd never be alone again. The days rolled into one another like a slow-moving stream, quiet and warm under the summer sun. The ranch, once haunted by silence and memories, now echoed with life. Cole would wake to the sound of Ellie's bare feet running across the porch, or the soft cooing of Charlie in the cabin next door. Sometimes Anna would already be at the stove in the main house, sleeves rolled up, hair tied back, humming low like she always did when she thought no one was listening. Cole hadn't said the words out loud, but something inside him had changed. He no longer saw Anna and the children as guests or strangers he'd taken in. They belonged now, like a piece of land that had always been there, just waiting to be found. One late afternoon, he returned from town with supplies, sugar, fabric, a toy train for Charlie he wouldn't admit he bought on purpose. He found Anna in the garden behind the barn, sweat glistening on her neck, her hands deep in the soil. Ellie was chasing chickens. Charlie was asleep in the basket beside her. "You never stop working," he said, voice low and fond. Anna looked up and smiled, brushing her cheek with the back of her wrist. "Idle hands make for bad thinking." He watched her for a moment. The way the light fell on her face, softening every line, deepening the quiet strength in her eyes. "You could rest now, you know." "I'm not sure I know how anymore." Cole crouched beside her. "Maybe I can teach you." She looked at him, truly looked, like maybe she'd been waiting for him to say something like that. But before anything else passed between them, the sound of hooves thundered up the path. A rider galloped toward them, wild-eyed and breathless, dust flying behind his horse. It was Sheriff Denton. "Cole," he barked, pulling the reins hard. "You got company coming." "Trouble?" Cole stood, jaw tight. "What kind of trouble?" "Man came into town, asking about a woman with 2 kids. Says the baby's his. Said she ran off with his property." Cole didn't move, but his eyes went cold. Anna paled behind him. No, that can't be." Ellie rushed to her mother, sensing the shift in the air. Cole stepped between Anna and the sheriff. "Who is he?" Cole asked. "Name's Jess Caldwell. Says he married her sister a while back. Claims Anna took the baby after the sister died." Anna's voice broke. "She didn't die. He killed her." Silence fell like a blade. Cole turned slowly to look at her. "He beat her," she whispered. "Every day. We tried to run once. She had bruises, broken ribs. But he dragged her back. When she didn't wake up one morning, he blamed the baby, blamed all of us. I took Charlie and Ellie and ran. I didn't know where to go." The sheriff looked pained. "I believe her, but the man's got papers. A judge in Wichita gave him temporary guardianship when she went missing." Cole's fists clenched at his sides. "What does he want?" "Claims he's here to take the boy." Anna's voice was barely audible. "He'll kill him, or worse." Cole's voice was steel. "He ain't taki nobody." Denton shook his head. "I can stall him, but he's got legal ground. You've got to be careful." As the sheriff rode off, Anna sank to the porch steps, trembling. "I won't let him take them," Cole said. "You hear me, Anna?" "I believe you," she whispered, but fear still clung to her like smoke. That night, Cole sat by the window with his rifle across his lap. He watched the horizon long after the lanterns went out. The next morning, he saddled his horse and rode to town, to the telegraph office. He wired a lawyer he knew from the old days, someone who owed him a favor. By sundown, just Caldwell showed up. He was tall, mean-looking, eyes small beneath a crooked hat. He stank of whiskey and arrogance. "I come for what's mine," he told Cole at the gate. Cole didn't move. "Ain't nothing here that belongs to you. That boy's got my blood." "You got proof?" Just slapped the paper against the fence post. "Judge's orders. Right here." Cole took it. Read it slowly, then ripped it clean in half. "Paper don't mean a damn thing out here," he said. "Not when it's bought with lies." Jess stepped forward. "You threatening me, cowboy?" "No. I'm telling you, you set one foot on this land and you'll regret it." Jess sneered. "You think you can keep him? Some washed-up rancher who sleeps alone in a cabin of ghosts." Cole's face didn't change, but something dangerous flickered in his eyes. "I don't sleep alone anymore." Jess pulled his pistol. He never got to aim it. Cole's shot was faster, cleaner. The gun flew from the man's hand, clattering in the dirt. He dropped to his knees, screaming. Denton rode in moments later, having waded out of sight. "He drew first," Cole said, voice flat. Denton nodded. "I saw." By the next day, Jess Caldwell was loaded into a wagon and sent back to Kansas in chains, charged with attempted kidnapping, assault, and falsifying custody papers. Cole's lawyer confirmed it all. The papers were forged. 2 days later, Cole came back from the creek to find Anna waiting on the porch, eyes full of storm and sunlight. "You protected us," she said. "You didn't have to." "I did," he said simply, "because I won't lose you. Not now." She stepped closer. "You haven't said it." "Said what?" "That you love us." He looked down, thumb grazing hers. "It's more than love, Anna. It's needing you the way a man needs breath. It's knowing you saved me the day your little girl stood in front of me and asked if I'd buy her." Anna touched his face, her voice trembling. "We never wanted to be bought. We just wanted to be chosen." He leaned in, brushing his lips gently to hers. "Then stay. Be mine. No papers. No promises to God or man. Just us." She nodded. "We already are." That night, under a blanket of stars, Ellie curled up near the fire with a dog at her feet, Charlie asleep in Cole's arms, and Anna resting her head against his chest. The lonely cowboy wasn't lonely anymore, and neither were they.